It's an absolute pleasure. Fauzia and team, thank you so much for inviting me. I'd like to give a very special shout out. There are many faces that are familiar in the crowd and friends, but two people, one of them was already introduced, Stephanie Day from UN Women. I'm very happy that the connection has been made to the United Nations and that, yes, that the UN is in the process of learning about Women That Give and the amazing work that they do. And the other person is Vikash Kohli, who's the founder of Monstrosity Creative Spaces, who's here tonight as well. I'm very happy that the connection has been made. For me, it's a special moment. It's a special moment, a moment of joy. This is the easy part of the job of an elected official, is to celebrate the incredible work that's being done in our community. And Women That Give is an organization that came to see us very early on in their trajectory, before they were even formally organized as an organization and a team of volunteers. And they asked for advice and how do we do this and how can government help and what should our vision be. So it became a series of conversations, and then later on we sort of stepped back, my team and I, and watched them grow into this incredible organization that is now doing some serious work and some heavy lifting in our community. So this is really gratifying. It's easy for an elected official to celebrate because really I didn't do the work, they did. And it's very important work. It starts with work on homelessness, on poverty, and very importantly on gender-based violence, things that are prevalent in our community, and depending on where you look in the Greater Toronto area, the trend lines are worrisome. There is more work that needs to be done, and Women That Give is an organization that is ramping up to do exactly that. There is much discussion about gender equality and diversity and inclusion, and some of you might find it surprising that in Canada in 2019 we need to have these conversations and projects, but not everybody is with us on this. It matters that there be gender equality, and it matters not only because it's the right thing to do, the morally right thing to do, it also matters because it's the smart thing to do. Women, if you look at Canada as a nation, make up roughly half of our population. Why would we leave that half of the population behind in economic terms? So there are conversations about women in science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM fields. There are very important conversations that are going on internationally and supported by UN Women about women in peace and security. I just had the privilege of traveling to Senegal and to Mali with our Standing Committee of National Defense to visit the Canadian forces that are supporting MINUSMA, which is the UN mission in Mali. And the conversations are about introducing more women into peace operations, more women into diplomacy, more women into fields that traditionally were not held by women. Peacekeeping, conflict, post-conflict negotiations, securing peace agreements. When we have women at the table, we get better results. But very importantly, yes, we do. Very, very importantly, it is also the right thing to do. Women have a right to serve in the UN, to be at the table in peace discussions, to serve in the Canadian forces. So how does all of this connect back to this incredible organization, Women That Give, here on the ground? We're coming up on International Women's Day on March 8th, and the reason their work is more important is because it puts women and girls into a position to contemplate these careers in the first place. Unless women are secure, unless they have a home, unless they are fed, and unless they are free from gender-based violence, young women and girls won't even be in a position to consider themselves to become engineers, peacekeepers, pilots, law enforcement officers, scientists, and the like. So you are doing the work that really reaches back to the ground and does all the important heavy lifting from the get-go. Without this work, there would be no future for women and girls. So I'm super, super grateful to have watched this effort and to have been part of the people that stand by your side and support you. I think it's about empowering women to be their best. I think this is part of the philosophy of Women That Give, and it starts in our community. So I'm really proud. I'm going to be going to New York just tomorrow morning at 6:30 to have some discussions on a number of issues that are of interest to our Defense Committee, and I'm going again in March for the Commission on the Status of Women, and I will tell the story of Women That Give, and I will tell it proudly, because the folks in New York, yes, the folks in New York and the representatives the UN has here on the ground, like Stephanie, need to know what this amazing organization has done and what it will do in the future. And I will end tonight by thanking all the men that are here. I'm looking around and I see men, I see some boys. This is incredibly important because women cannot and women should not do this work alone. So you're sitting in the audience, you're about to be watching an incredible performance, but it's more than that. You're here because you care, you're here because you understand the challenge, and you're here because you are champions for gender equality and the fight to stop gender-based violence. So let's have a big round of applause for all the men that are here. And I will leave it there. Before closing, I have with me a certificate from our community of Mississauga Lakeshore and your House of Commons to congratulate and to commend the volunteers led by Fauzia Khan. And I would like to hand this over to the executive of Women That Give. Maybe we can take a quick photo in the center of the stage and then go on with the remainder of the program. Thank you so much for having me. Deeply honored to be with you. Thank you.